Have you seen this mochi phone all over your feed lately? Those tiny pastel flip phones, soft colors, cute animations, and this whole modern apps meet Y2K nostalgia vibe. If you are on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts, you have probably seen at least one ad or video about it by now. I kept seeing it so many times that at one point I just stopped scrolling and thought, all right, I need to actually look into this. Because that is what we do here on Superfixes. When a product suddenly explodes all over social media, we do not just ask, is this cute? We ask the real question, is this thing actually legit? Or is it just another cleverly packaged scam? So in this video, I am going to walk you through everything I found when I started digging into mochiphone.com. We are going to talk about the website, the domain, the reviews, the pricing tricks, and the whole overall pattern. By the end, you should be able to decide for yourself whether this is worth your money or something you should stay far away from. This video is not sponsored. No brand sent me this. No company is paying me to say anything. I am talking to you exactly the way I would talk to a friend who DMs me a link and asks, hey, what do you think about this? Should I buy it? Let us start with the first thing that made me stop and raise an eyebrow, the website itself. When I looked up the domain behind the store, something jumped out immediately. The site Mochiphone is using was registered on October 22nd, 2025. That is extremely new. We are talking about a website that is just a few days old, not a few months, not a few years. And yet, on the website, they claim they have already served over 3,000 happy customers. They show hundreds of five-star reviews, and they act like some well-established brand. Think about that for a second. If a brand genuinely had a solid customer base and a good reputation, they would not have a domain age of a handful of days. Real brands grow over time. They have older domains, a digital footprint, scattered reviews, social mentions, something. Here, the story the website is telling does not match the reality of how young the domain is. That mismatch is the first big red flag. Now, let us talk about reviews, because that is where things get even more interesting. Whenever I look into a new store, I go to independent review platforms first. Places like Trustpilot, SiteJabber, or other third-party sites where customers leave honest feedback that the brand cannot edit or delete easily. When I searched for reviews of Mochiphone or variations of the name, there was basically nothing. No real customer feedback, no long-term reviews, no one posting pictures of their real order or sharing a full experience outside of the brand's own site. But when you go back to mochiphone.com, suddenly it looks like the happiest place on earth. The product page is filled with five-star comments, all positive, all glowing, all flawless. Every second. Review is something like, I love it so much, best purchase ever, fast shipping, amazing quality. The language starts sounding suspiciously generic and repetitive, like it was written by the same person over and over. That is what we usually see with fake testimonials. They all sound the same. There are no imperfections, no minor complaints, no normal human details, like shipping took a bit longer than expected, but the phone is nice, or I wish the hinge was stronger, but my daughter loves it. Real reviews are messy. Fake reviews are perfect. So here we have a brand new site with a domain that barely exists, claiming thousands of orders and hundreds of perfect reviews, but zero independent feedback anywhere else. That is the second major red flag. The next thing I always look at with these kinds of sites is the pricing and the way they talk about discounts. And mochiphone.com uses one of the most classic scam tactics out there: extreme fake discounts combined with a fake urgency timer. On the site, they show a regular price of around 17,300 Indian rupees. That is the claimed original price. Then they strike it out dramatically and show a discounted price of around 10,000 rupees. Then they add a nice big label saying something like 42% off autumn sale. And right under that, there is a countdown timer ticking down, making you feel like you have to buy right now or you will miss out forever. But here's the trick, that countdown resets every time you refresh the page. It is not a real deadline, it is just code. It is programmed to restart so that no matter when you land on the site, it always feels like you are about to miss the deal. This is not how serious, trustworthy brands run limited sales. This is how high pressure, conversion focused scam sites trick people into panic buying before they have time to research. Real sales have actual end dates. They do not restart the second you open the page in a new tab. So when I see a high crossed out price, a huge discount, and a timer that magically never expires, I know exactly what kind of pattern I am looking at. Now let us dig into the website structure and design style, because that may sound like a small detail, but in the scam world, it is actually a huge clue. If you have seen enough scam stores, you start recognizing the layout almost instantly. It is the same types of fonts, the same sections, the same way the text is written, the same product photo placement, even the same "Why choose us" icons. Mochiphone.com fits right into that same template. It looks like it was built using a generic dropshipping or scam store theme, the kind that is sold in bulk to people who just want to launch quick sites for whatever product is trending this month. And here is the pattern these sites follow. They pick a hot product, often something aesthetic like a cute phone, projector, portable printer, smart glasses, anything that looks good in a short video. Then they rush a website together using a template, throw in fake reviews, fake discounts, fake urgency, run a bunch of ads, collect as many orders as possible for a month or two, and then quietly disappear. Customers who never get their product are left sending emails to a support inbox that no one actually checks. I've seen this same story play out with dozens of other viral gadgets. The product changes, the website name changes, but the structure and tactics are always the same. So when I see a brand new site with a fresh domain, a too perfect review section, a fake timer, and a layout that looks like every other scam store I have investigated, I do not ignore that. Those are not small details. Those are the fingerprints of a model that has scammed a lot of people before. Now, to be fair, let us talk about the product itself for a moment. The Mochi phone, at least in the ads, looks kind of charming. It is small, colorful, and designed to tap into that nostalgia wave. It gives off this early 2000s flip phone energy mixed with the promise that you can still use modern apps, take cute pictures, and maybe even have a digital detox by using something simple instead of your main smartphone. On the surface, it sounds appealing. Aesthetic and minimal phones are actually a growing trend, and there are legitimate companies making dumb phones or minimalist devices for people who want less screen time. The idea is not the problem here. The problem is the way it is being sold. If Mochiphone.com was a real brand, here's what I would expect to see. I would expect clear information about the company behind it, a physical address that checks out, a real about page that tells me who started the brand and why, a consistent presence on multiple platforms with organic comments, not just ads. I would expect at least a few real customers posting photos or unboxing videos independently, and I would absolutely expect a domain that has been around longer than a week. Instead, what we have is almost the complete opposite. The company details are vague or hidden, the reviews are locked inside their own site. The domain is extremely young, and the only noise around the product is coming from the brand itself or from ad content, not from real buyers. So, what does that actually mean for someone thinking about buying one? It means the risk is high. Maybe the product exists and you will get something in the mail, but you have to ask, will it look and work like the ad, or will it be a cheap knockoff version that barely functions? And in the worst case scenario, you send your money, nothing ever ships, and a month later, the website disappears. This is the problem with these short lived stores. There is no long term accountability. If a big established brand messes up, there is a backlash. People leave reviews, videos go viral, the company has to respond. But when a small anonymous site disappears, there is no one to hold responsible. They just shut it down and open a new one under a different name. Now, I know what some people might say. They might argue, but what if this is just a new brand starting out? Everyone has to start somewhere, right? And in theory, that is true. New companies do appear, and not every new domain is evil. The question is not, are they new? The question is, are they acting like a real business or like a hit and run store? Real new businesses are usually transparent. They are honest about being new. They do not pretend to have tens of thousands of customers in their first week. They do not fill their site with fake reviews. They do not use endlessly resetting countdown timers to pressure people. And they are normally visible in more than one place. You will see them trying to build a community, not just squeeze quick money out of strangers who saw one ad on TikTok. Mochiphone.com does not give off that honest new brand energy. It gives off the we are here for a short time, not a long time feeling. Everything is built to push you to buy on impulse, not to build trust over time. So at this point, after looking at the domain age, the lack of external reviews, the suspicious testimonials, the fake discount timer, and the copy pasted scam store layout, I can comfortably say that this is not a website I would trust with my money. Could someone technically receive a phone from them? Possibly. But for me, the standard is higher than maybe you will get something. If I'm going to spend this kind of money, especially in the 10,000 rupee range, I want to feel confident that the brand is real, that there is customer support, that there are real reviews, and that if anything goes wrong, I have some protection. Right now, mochiphone.com does not meet that standard. So, what is my personal verdict as Superfix is? The idea of a cute pastel flip phone with modern features is legit. The concept itself is not the scam. But mochiphone.com, as a store and a brand, raises too many red flags to be considered safe or trustworthy at this moment. New domain, no independent reviews, fake looking testimonials, fake urgency tactics, a generic scam style website. If you are watching this because you were just about to buy one after seeing an ad, my advice is simple: step back. Do not let the aesthetic and the countdown timer rush you into a purchase. If you really want a minimalist or aesthetic phone, look for established brands that have been around for a while, brands with real customer feedback and support. Here on Superfix, I am not here to tell you what to like. If you love the look of the Mochi phone, that is fine. But I am here to make sure that before you put your card details into a website, you know what you are getting into. So to wrap it up in one sentence, mochiphone.com, in my opinion, is not a site I would trust. The product may look adorable, but the business behind it does not look solid. And when it comes to your money and your data, looking cute is not enough. Always research, always check the domain age, always look for real external reviews, and always be very suspicious of sites that are trying to rush you with fake timers and perfect 5-star ratings. That is the breakdown. That is the reality behind the Mochi phone hype from where I am standing. And if you want more scam or legit breakdowns just like this, you already know where to find me.